I'm Pete Clark from the Autism Infocast. Today I'm looking at stimming and autism and why these repetitive behaviours are a natural, necessary and deeply purposeful part of how many autistic people experience and regulate their own world. Have you ever tapped your foot when you were impatient, or clicked a pen while you're thinking, or twirled your hair a little while you were nervous? Almost everyone stims to a small degree, but for autistic people, these actions are often way more pronounced and they serve as a vital tool for navigating daily life. So today I'm going to demystify what stimming actually is, the different forms it can take, and why acceptance is so important for supporting autistic well-being. So first, let's be clear about what stimming or self-stimulatory behaviour actually is. It involves repetitive movements or sounds that help a person manage their own internal state. So those behaviours are not random, they're really purposeful. They help with self-regulation, which is a powerful way to manage both positive and negative emotions. For example, a person might flap their hands in moments of intense joy or excitement, or rock back and forth to soothe themselves when they're feeling upset or anxious. Stimming is also crucial for managing sensory input. So if you're in a noisy, bright or crowded place, a repetitive action provides a predictable sensation that helps block out the overwhelming chaos of what's going on around you. On the other hand, if an environment feels a bit dull, stimming can provide the needed input to help someone feel more alert and grounded. It's also a reliable coping mechanism for stress and anxiety, and it can be a clear, honest way for when somebody needs to express an emotion which they find it hard to use words or facial expressions to express. So what does it actually look like? Well, stimming is incredibly diverse. There's no one specific way it happens. It's a very unique, personal thing. So, for example, physical stims might involve body movements like hand flapping, rocking, spinning in circles, jumping, pacing, or flicking fingers. Vocal stims might involve sound such as humming or singing or making repetitive clicking sounds or repeating words and phrases, which is often called echolalia. Some people use object-focused stims like lining up toys in a precise order or spinning the wheels on a toy car or repeatedly flicking a light switch. Others use sensory stims like repeatedly touching a specific texture or smelling an object or watching moving lights. Because these behaviours are often misunderstood though, people might stare and see them as being a bit strange or weird, and that can lead to the autistic person feeling very ashamed and trying to suppress their stims in public. But trying to stop someone from stimming is basically counterproductive. It can be harmful because it denies them a vital tool that they normally use to cope. Suppressing stims can lead to a huge build-up of stress and anxiety, potentially causing a meltdown or a shutdown later on. We need a shift in perspective. Society needs to understand that stimming isn't a negative behaviour that needs to be fixed. It's a valid way of being in the world. Now, people often ask if stimming is always harmless, and while the vast majority of stims are beneficial, the only time we should be concerned is if a stim causes harm to the person or to others. That's called self-injurious behaviour. For example, head banging or biting or excessive scratching of the skin. If that happens, the goal isn't to stop the behaviour but to understand its cause. Those actions are often a sign of extreme distress or pain or an unmet need that hasn't been vocalised. We should work with the person to investigate the reason and help them find a safer alternative way to get that sensory input or emotional release that they need, like perhaps introducing a safer stim or addressing the source of their distress to begin with. So, stimming is an authentic and functional part of being autistic for many people. It's personal, it's intelligent, and it's an effective way of managing a world that often feels quite overwhelming. So, when we move past judgment and we move into understanding and acceptance, we're effectively making a society, a community, where the autistic people feel safe and comfortable enough to use whatever tools they need, even if it's stimming or fidget toys. All of those things are valid. Accepting stimming is a simple and powerful way to show respect for neurological diversity and to support autistic people in being their true selves. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe now on YouTube and follow Autism Info Centre on social media, or visit autisminfocentre.org for free autism news, articles, books, videos, podcasts, resources and courses. See you in the next video.